Alrighty. I thought I'd shoot a video to show the difference between Memphis, which is where most of the 335s were made, and what's coming out of Gibson now. A friend of mine was lucky, I was lucky enough to get this lended to me. That's a Dot 2021, fresh out of the factory. This guy here's a 2018. She's all mine, by the way. Took the pickguard off. I'm going to just give you a quick overview of the differences in the two models I've noticed so far, and then a quick play out. So first thing, oh, that's Dancing Gabe on the TV, Winnipeg Jets. First thing is tuning heads. Grover milk bottles. My cat. Grover Rotomatics. And versus Cloustons. Headstocks obviously are the same size, nothing different there. Block inlays versus the Dots. Really nice fretboard. Super dirty when I got it. It does need an oiling and a sanding from the factory. I took the pickguard off of mine, so that's not really a difference. But one difference here though is screwed directly into the guitar versus like an SG. These have the anchors in them. Now, I'm not touching this because it's not my guitar. So the stop bar is straight down. My setup, my stop bars are always up. If you could see that. So I like a little less tension in the string. Other than that, the major difference I find, T-types, which are alnico 5s. This is an objective preference thing, not my thing. Versus the MHS, which are two mixed alnico pickups, and in my opinion, a lot smoother with the high end. Other than that, the knobs are the same. I believe the wiring is the same. The bridge is the same. I could be wrong, so sorry about that, but I'm pretty sure they're more or less the same. Major difference here, though, okay? The width of the neck and the depth of the neck is different. This neck is narrower at the first fret, and I believe narrower at the 12th. I prefer this neck. It's a little wider at the first, wider at the 12th. It's also thicker down the back, and I'm going to show you what I mean here. So if you were to look at the profile of this neck, you could see that it's fairly straight from the first down to the 12th. It's a nice feel, by the way. Okay, nothing wrong with it. It feels great. It is, again, a bit narrow, and the edges are rolled. Rolled edges on the fretboard on the 18 traditional. Now these guys, they went with a cream binding on the 2021 versus that aged antique look. And if you take a look at this neck, in my hands, this is thicker here in this area, and it gets thicker on the 12th fret. So it's definitely a thicker neck, and it's wider here at the nut, wider at the 12th fret too. It's very comfortable. One other thing I have to say for sure, this guitar came out set up perfect immediately out of the box. I mean, perfect. It plays like a keyboard for a computer. So kudos to Gibson Nashville. It's true what they're saying. The guitars are set up beautifully. And they're, I can't believe it how nice it played right out of the box. Really all it needs, which I haven't done, because again, it's not mine, is a cleanup of the fretboard. So again, just to recap, neck is narrower at the first fret and the 12th. Also, even though they're both called rounded C profiles, this one is a little thinner. Definitely a thicker neck all the way through, especially at the first to the 5th fret. Wider and wider. Different pickups. Alnico 5s are clear, but I find they don't have as much character as what the MHS pickups were in the 2018 that I have here. These are smooth and round, and I'm a P90 guy, so maybe that's a bit of a bias. Oh, one minor thing. Engrave that full. No need for that. So again, binding difference, pickups, screwed directly into the block, anchor bolted, my cat, my slippers. Oh, and the 60s cherry is a beautiful finish. Almost looks figured, like a candy apple type of red. And it's stunning. Usually around the neck, you see a lot of missed work with the older Gibson stuff, and the frets, everything is just perfect. Also noticed, I think when they plecked it, they lowered the frets below the 12 frets so that you get less buzzing when you fret up top. It's just a perfectly set up guitar. And even the grain on the back of the neck is perfectly straight. It's a great guitar. So anyways, enough yapping. Let's see the difference between a Memphis 2018 and a Nashville Epiphone Dot. So before I start playing, this is my smaller pedal board. It's just a practice board. I've got an A-B switch there. And just a couple pedals. I'll predominantly just be stacking 2 drives, which is awesome. You cascade. I have a reverb here as well. But when you cascade, you get some really cool effects with low distortion and higher volume on each pedal. You got really cool things. I could pull this off too. Playing left, right. So right is going to be a Vox Little Night Train 1 watt cool amp and an Igniter tweaker. All right, neck pickup. Middle. Bridge. Neck. Middle. Bridge. A little more here. That's bridge, middle. And neck. Clean it all up. Bridge. Technical, definitely clean it up. Neck. Middle. Bridge. I don't know if you could hear that, but the high string on the alnico 5 is what I'm talking about. Keep that tone in mind when we go to the 18. All right, neck. Middle. Bridge. Middle. A little dirt, neck. Middle. Neck. Sorry, bridge. Remember those high strings? You hear that sings? MHS pickups are sick. All right, so there's the comparison between these two. 2018 Memphis traditional blocks. We already talked about all the differences. 2021 beautiful guitar, thick neck, sounds full. My personal subjective thing is I'm not a fan of the alnico 5s. Maybe at drum volume they do something different, but I find they're grating more than anything else. And yes, you could roll off the tone, but that's the characteristic of the pickup magnet. Whereas these guys, even at big volume, especially the bridge pickup, sings and gets all these crazy overtones. One other personal thing I'll just finish with, this stop bar. Just because most guys put them all the way down, first of all, you get a little better chance of string breakage. But if you raise it, there's all kinds of wonderful overtones that come out of the guitar. I don't know if you heard on that pinched harmonic on the high note. A lot of that happens with the strings being at that tension. I know some guys over wrap. I won't get into that. But I find messing around with this guy does a lot for the rest of the guitar. So great job, Gibson, on how you're building them. It's unbelievable, flawless setup. I've never played anything out of the box that was in tune and just like a keyboard for a computer. And this is my girl, love her still, and yes, she sings. So I hope that helps define between Memphis, Nashville, for all the ES-335 fans. And on that note, you hear the bell, back to my hockey game.